Okay, good afternoon. George Cavaligos for HFT Bonds. A little bit better day for us today, huh guys? What do we got? A lot of stuff here. Okay, daily chart closed doji, slightly positive I think, but still basically jump ball for the Bulls and Bears to fight over again. Got a couple flag formations forming on different time frames. I look at a 5-minute, a 30-minute, a 2-hour, and a daily chart constantly. The daily chart has the doji close that I was just talking about, which signals indecisiveness. Maybe last night's lows were some kind of a bottom. Then on the 2-hour chart, we've had obviously the lows last night, which was just madness last night. You know, you had the big sell-off in the treasuries first. And then all kinds of madness going on over in Japan. Things are out of control there. JGBs, I think, were slightly over 1% at one point, you know, which was a new high yield form, and then they reversed massive stimulus from the BOJ and closed at 0.86. Just violent moves. The Nikkei at one point was up 200, no, more than that actually. It was up like 2% and closed down 7%. The yen was almost at new lows when the Nikkei was up, and then rallied very massively. I think at one point it was more than 200 off its lows, ticks in the futures. The 10-year went down. We filled the gap from the Cyprus gap up in the 10-year. We did not quite fill it in the bonds. We got into it in the bonds. Keep that in mind. The bonds still have a gap from 142.02 to 142.09. So the top of the gap was 10 yesterday. We went into the gap in the bonds by a tick. And actually the 10-year went through the gap. I think the gap was at 30.5 to 02. We went down to 28. So keeping these different markets in mind, you got to keep bonds and notes. Watch them both. Again, I can't emphasize enough how much, you know, when you see the 10-year filling that gap, and then reversing back and going back above the gap, you certainly don't want to be short bonds waiting for the gap to be filled. And conversely, when other things like that happen too, okay? Moving forward. 2-hour chart, we had the new lows last night, and we had the big rally very early this morning. I think from like midnight to 3 a.m. we saw the 10-year rally from 130.28 all the way up to 131.23. Bonds rallied from 142.09 all the way up to 144.03. Most of the time today we've spent the market going sideways to lower, slightly lower, in what looked like a B wave. And if you were in the chat room today, you saw the great trade when I highlighted the idea that the sell-off that we were in off of the highs at 144.03 was an ABC corrective pattern, which C equals A, or equal swings or symmetry, at 143.16. We got long at what, 20, and watched them trade all the way back up to unchanged on the day at 142.27, where we exited. Great trade, right? Now what do? Now we're looking at more possibilities than I can shake a stick at. The 5-minute chart is forming a little sideways to slightly higher channel, which looks like a bearish flag formation. The 30-minute and the 2-hour are forming these sort of slightly lower to sideways pattern channels that look like bull flags. So I'm thinking the 5-minute chart gets one more down move. Maybe we get down to this morning's lows again. Take out those lows maybe by a little bit and then come back. I'm looking for some kind of a move down and then a bounce, basically, is what I'm trying to say. It's tricky. There's a lot of different things moving around here. You want to be looking for some kind of a bullish reversal pattern, I think, early tonight. Maybe early tomorrow morning. There's no buyback tomorrow. We only have durable goods. I didn't see a lot on the calendar out of the rest of the world, but I don't think it matters. Somebody will say something somewhere, cause some massive violence in the markets. I think everything is very, I don't want to say nervous, but very sensitive at this point to every comment from everybody everywhere. And the central banker's got to be sitting there going, damn, why didn't I say that differently? But they'll keep talking and the markets will keep responding. So move down and then get long for a rally. It's my favorite idea here, but stay flexible. Nothing's carved in stone in this market. All it takes is one guy to say something to flip the whole thing around. Stay on your toes, good stops. I'll see you guys next week. I'm going to the cabin for a little R&R and a nice long weekend. Basically had the ultimatum from my lovely wife. You know, she doesn't have school tomorrow. She's working on a master's degree. It's been very stressful. She gets a long weekend, so I have to take a long weekend. You guys have a great day tomorrow. Good luck. I'll see you. I think I'll be back Monday, but I don't. The markets close at noon in the Globex closes at noon in the Treasuries. So unless I see something really good to talk about, I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Have a great holiday weekend, and think of that.